All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our lag meeting talking about how to enter the Melvin Gallery Show. I'm super excited. Denise has put this together for the second year in a row, and it's done an amazing job. So thank you, Denise. I'm very happy for you that you do this for us. And I'm excited for us to offer this opportunity, not just for our members, but for people across the nation. So we're going to walk you through how to enter on Cafe. So hopefully it'll be a little less nerve-wracking for those of you that might be a little bit nervous about it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here and I'm going to share my screen with you. Please don't judge me because I know some of you have backgrounds in IT for the amount of tabs that I have open because that's just who I am. I'm that girl. All right, so what you're going to do is I told you to come to this meeting that you wanted to go ahead and have yourself a Cafe account. So here we go. I'm going to sign into mine. I had signed in previously because I always forget my Cafe login. And okay, so I guess I'm already in here. All right, so when you sign in, you're going to come in. And what you're going to want to do is the first thing is you're going to create your profile. So hopefully you've already done that. You've created your profile with your email address, your phone number, etc. What you're going to want to do now is work on your portfolio. So when you click the My Portfolio link, it's going to take you over here so you can upload your media. And so these are quite a few of the pieces that I've got in here right now. I have been very neglectful of my Cafe account. I've been doing other things, so I don't have a whole lot of my stuff in here, which is a good thing for us so that I can show you how to do this. Somebody had asked earlier, how do you upload your images or how do you resize them for Cafe? They have to be under 5 megabytes. All right, so if you have any problems with that, let me know. I'm glad to help you and walk you through that. When I explain this to students, the way I explain it is stretch pants, which sounds kind of silly, but if you take the idea of stretch pants say one size fits all. Well, stretch pants on me will look a little differently than they will on Kimberly Smith because she's very bikini and I am not so teeny. So understand that when you're dealing with a DPI, which is what they're looking for, it means dots per inch. So if you have the same media, if you have an image, and I was talking earlier about this, if you have an image that's 2 inches by 3 inches at a 300 DPI, if you try to increase the size of the image to say 4 by 6, then you've taken those 300 dots per inch and you're stretching them out just like those stretch pants. So when you take a picture of something that you want to save for later on, you want to get it at a relatively high DPI if you can, but barring that, make it a large size pixels or a large inch size with a lower resolution. So when I shoot on my camera, a lot of times I'll shoot at like 42 by 60 inches with a 72 DPI. So apparently that's easier for my camera to kind of process. I don't know. That's tech stuff. That's not my wheelhouse. But when I try to condense it down, it's super easy because all of that information is there and it can be condensed rather than trying to stretch it out later, just like the idea of those stretch pants. So make sure you're saving your stuff at a large enough image resolution and size that it's super easy for you to get a quality print if you're going to be entering online shows or quality image. So I'm going to go over here to upload media and it just says, I'm going to upload an image, choose my file. I'm going to go into my, my art file. And so you can see these are a lot of pictures I've taken. The one that I want is right here. And I told you, when I talked to y'all at the lag meeting and previously before we started recording, I said you get the same money, you get 3 pieces. So go ahead and for your last one, send something in that's very different. Really try something and be experimentative. Okay, it says I've chosen an image file. It says image below, or sorry, I'm sick. Tell me about the image below. So I'm going to come over here and I don't know why it's not opening because it should be the correct size. If not, I'll go through how to size it. It might not. I'll just do something else different real quickly. Okay, so it's coming up now and I can go in here and I can say, I call this one the stroll. and the image is photography. And I put my particulars in here. And you just go through real quickly and you add all this information. And then it says artwork is for sale. And I'll say yes, because, you know, hey, why not? And I'll say 350. All right, my year completed, I think, was 2018. And you're just filling in all this information as you go very quickly. All right, so you want to put a description in here because that's going to hopefully draw people to your artwork sometimes, or it may give, I'm not sure whether our jurist will be able to see this, but if it needs some more information, I would put that information in here. I'm just going to add this to my portfolio. And you can see it gives me the little bar where it's uploading. And there's my image. So if I go over to apply to calls, I can look up for by Lakeland Art Guild. It should be one of my favorite calls, so I should be able to find it that way, or I can just do a search like this. So here we are, the Melvin Gallery exhibit, more information. This is basically talking about everything here. So I'm going to click on it. And when I come over, it'll give me all of this information. And so I can read all about it, and it's got so much information about us. And I go down, I can print it if I wanted to or not. As I said before, mine is actually it's already in process. So I can review my application. So here are the two pieces that I've already put in there. And since we get 3, I wanted to put in a third. So I'm going to go back to my entry. And that's when I would pull up my work sample that I should have just put in there, but I didn't. All right, so let me do that again real quick. And maybe it'll do it this time, because I really want to put in this weirdo photograph. Although I can put in my other weirdo photograph and be fine with it. It's saying moss, so I'm just going to say moss. Photography, 12 inches, 12 inches, 0 artwork for sale. Yes, of course it is, because I like money. And I'll make it 350. And this was done this year. Primary discipline, photography. It's very simple to do this. And I know I'm going through quickly. I'm not going to spend the time to put the description. I'll go back and do that later. I'm going to add it to my portfolio. Excuse me. So my image file is being processed, and there it is. So now I'm going to go over here and I can look at my cafe entries, because as I said, I had already started this. So it is under my entries. You can start it and then leave and then come back later. You just save it. All right, so these are all the ones that I have put in for, I've done different things. So it says I'm ready for submission, but I want to modify it because I'm cheap. I got 3 entries. I'm only put in 2. So now I'm going to put in my third. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to modify it. And so I'm going to put in moss. This helps if you spell it right. And then I'm going to put, what did I say, 350? Make sure that when you're doing this, you're thinking about the automatic donation that's going to come out being listed in the online show. So if you know that you want to sell something and you want to make $100, you need to bump up your price by the additional 30% that's going to go to the Lakeland Art Guild. It's 30 or 35%?
30.
30? Mm-hmm. Okay, so then I'm going to save this part, and I'm going to, nope. I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to pick from my portfolio my work sample. And since it's the most recently added, it should be there. So all I have to do is select that one. And then I'm going to say, save my application. And it says, I'm ready to check out. And yes, technically I am. Do you have any questions about what I've done at this point? Everybody kind of understands it. It's fairly simple. I know it can be kind of daunting, but it's fairly simple once you get your stuff uploaded. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to be ready to check out. And there's a $40 entry fee. There is a code for that, which Denise will helpfully supply me with in just a moment. Mm-hmm. Right, there's coupon code. Look at that. Okay, so my coupon code is
1,000 pennies. And so capital P and then lowercase ENNIES.
Correct.
And it should be all one word actually in order
And
for
no
it to work.
spaces.
So no
Okay.
space. Right.
All right. So apply coupon.
It works.
And there
All
it
right.
works. All right. So see how exciting that is? So now I'm going to go over here and I'm going to proceed to checkout. Kimberly, Amanda just sent me a thing saying she couldn't find the Zoom link. Can you send it to her real quick? I'm going to go over here and I'm going to pay through PayPal because that's the way I want to do it. You could choose another way to pay, but I just like paying by PayPal because then I don't give anybody my information. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to say submit payment. And it's probably going to ask me to sign into PayPal. Oh, but there's my receipt because I'm already signed in over here. All right. So I'm done. And when I go back over here to my cafe entries and I go down to the bottom, it'll say, here's exactly what I entered. Here's when I entered it. It's saying that the Lakeland Art Guild has received my entries and it's showing exactly what I've got here. I can review it at any time if I want and see what I sent in, but you can't change it once you've sent it. So we need to make sure that you're very sure that you're going to send what you want to send. That's why it was important to me to get that last photograph in there.
Wow.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
You didn't put your description in and now
I can go back in there and I can
okay.
add that in there because that's fluid on the cafe website. So that is housed over here on the cafe website. So it should be fine. But I'm going to be honest with you. Let me pull up that photo. It's pretty clear what it is. It's a mossy wall. So I don't really need to describe it a whole lot. It's just a really creepy looking wall. But so I will go in and I'll talk about that, but I want to have it so that other people can find it if they were possibly looking for it. But
I just wanted to know because you said once it's in there, it's done. So
once it's in there, I can't change my submission.
Oh, okay. But you can go in and add a description.
Yeah, I could do that. So that should be, just make sure you're doing it. And we have gone ahead and gotten a jurist, and it's somebody I know through the AP reading. He's an amazing art teacher and really incredibly well versed in a wide variety of media. So again, I want to tell you, put in two of what you consider your strong suits and then do something a little funky, kind of play with something different that you might not have thought that you would enter before. If you're somebody that's just kind of like, oh, this is what I do, but go ahead and try putting in something experimental. That would be my best advice for you. All right. Does anybody else have any questions?
Sherry, the sizes, I'm sorry, but I had to step out and I think I missed out to get the size of the art, to shoot the biggest, like 52 by 48, and that's like you were saying. How do I fix my camera to do that?
So I don't know. I mean, to be as honest with you as possible, like, I'm not sure whether my husband said it that way or whether it came that way from Apple because I have an iPhone. But I can find that out and let you know. But again, if you're shooting, you always want to shoot. He was explaining it to me as that, it's easier for the camera to process it as not being a 300 DPI, but being a larger image. And so then when I want to print it out, if I want to print it out at a large, a large enough size, I can still kind of compress it and I still have a really great resolution.
Yeah, of course.
That makes sense?
It does. I don't have an iPhone. I have an Android. So
they still all shoot at 72.
It would work the same. You just change the size. And I can ask him again, and I'll post it in the thing. If it didn't come factory set, when your pictures come off your phone, Candy, and you go to change the resolution or the size of them, what size is it coming up automatically?
Oh, that's a brilliant question. One moment, please. Let me go check it. Hold on. Art. Okay,
so while we're talking about this, if you've got your computer out, please go ahead and try to upload something in your portfolio so that when we're all here, we can help you if you're having a problem. And I can put us in the little breakout rooms and we can help you individually. If you're kind of nervous about this or kind of worried about it, I want you to have the help that you need so that you'll be able to, enter the show with confidence.
Okay. This last picture that I just finished, and I took a picture of it, it doesn't really say anything about inches. It tells me that it is 2,105 by 2878. It
That
is
sounds like
2.22 megabytes.
That sounds like pixels. And it's a 72 DPI and it came out to be 2.25.
2.22 megabytes.
Okay.
Look at Anna's sending you messages. Read them.
Yeah, if I can jump in really quick, guys, the
Thank
required
you.
minimum on that is on the long side of whatever image you're uploading, it needs to be at least 1200 pixels. So Candy, what your phone was giving you was pixels, so you're good. And if it's saving it at 2.2, that's under 5, so you're good to go on that. Most phones that were released in like the last, I want to say like 8 years, will shoot at default photos that will work appropriately for cafe.
Mhm.
The best thing to do is to take some photos with your phone and try and upload your first portfolio entry, and it should upload just fine. If it doesn't work, then reach out to Sherry and the group here and see if you can, if you need help with it. But you should be able to take pictures just fine. I think the problem that we might run into, some of us with newer phones, or those of us who have the higher settings, we might accidentally make photos that are too big. And so if you do run into that, if it says size too big, please resize, then you may want to try changing your settings on your phone to be smaller. But sounds like Candy, you've got the right one. So
Okay. All right.
I think you're probably good to just go ahead and give it a whirl.
I shoot mine larger because I'm shooting photo for, photography too. So I need mine to be as large as possible. So
Right.
what she's saying is great. If you're just shooting photographs of your work to submit, then, yes, you could lower it. But since I'm going to possibly blow up some of my images, I need mine to be as large as possible. My needs are not the same as everybody else's.
Right.
Since as a photographer, I need them to be as large as possible, but that gets cumbersome for other people. And, it fills up your phone fast if you don't have a big,
Yeah.
extensive memory on there. So has everybody been able to upload a piece to their portfolio that was new to Cafe? If you have done Cafe before and you know how to do this, this is no problem. But I just want to make sure that everybody who is new to Cafe has been able to try this and is feeling pretty comfortable with uploading a piece to their portfolio.
Yeah.
As Anna said, if it's too small, it'll come up and say it's too small, or if it's too big, it'll come up and say it's too big. I always make mine right at 5 megabytes. Any of my images that I'm going to put on the internet, I put at 5 megabytes. If they're for something like this, if they're for, say, my Etsy store, then I really lower the quality down to a 72 DPI and make it a small size file so that people can't right click and steal my images. But for this, you want a really nice, 5 megabyte or right at that size image.
And Sherry's got to be real careful because those chickens, they're popular, man. People be right clicking, downloading those things like mad.
I don't know if you can hear them. They're out in my yard. They're like, rah, 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 and I'm just like, guys, I'm on a meeting. Shh. Like my noisy coworkers. Okay, so are we all feeling pretty comfortable with this now? I mean, I walked through it. I can switch it over. And Denise, do you have your stuff ready for entry?
I do not, because I'm going to do a little bit of crazy, I think, for these ones. And so,
Okay.
yeah.
Kimberly, have
It
you
is just
decided?
Implore, don't be afraid to be the first person to speak up and say, hey, I don't know what's going on. I need help. That's why we're here. We want to help you guys if you're having issues uploading. So please.
I haven't set up a cafe account.
You didn't do your homework. Okay.
No,
I see.
I've been busy. That's
okay.
my excuse.
Well, it's fairly simple. I mean, it's,
Actually,
really
it
is.
may be set up from like a long time ago and I just don't remember. So,
Well, the only reason I said to do it ahead of time is I didn't want people to be trying to do it real quickly as I was going through the rest of the demo, because it is just, it's a kind of a little time consuming, but it's not anything difficult. It's just, you know, the standard, what's your name? What's your thing? Okay.
Francis is
Margaret.
signing off and Alice has her hands up.
Oh, okay. All right. Just speak out. I'll
Well, they're
shut up.
putting their hands up.
Hey, I just wanted to let Kimberly know, if you haven't used your cafe account in more than 24 months, they will lock it as inactive.
Oh.
You'll have to send them an email to get them to unlock your account to make it active. I thought that was going to be a pretty quick automated process. I was working on it at like 6 o'clock at night. It took them until 3 o'clock the next day to get to me.
Wow.
So don't wait and try to do that like the day before the deadline.
No, I won't do that, but thank you.
Okay. Francis, you got a question?
She had to sign off.
Oh, no, no, that was Margaret that had to slid off.
Okay, sorry.
Do you have a question? You've got your hand up.
She's on mute.
Let's see here.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Y'all were talking about the iPhone and how you do this. This really has to be downloaded to a computer and using a program there to change the sizes. I can't do that on my iPhone. Is that correct?
I don't do it on my iPhone. There are free sizes. There's like Photopea that you can use, free internet resources.
So you're talking about an app that I can add to my phone. You can get on the
computer.
Okay. Okay.
And sometimes, like when I pull mine, do you have a Mac or do you have a PC?
I have a PC.
Because I know when I pull mine up and it'll go into the media viewer, it'll say, do you want to do resizing or something? I'm sure that it does something like that when you pull up a photo in your Windows compatible machine, correct?
Okay.
You possibly can do it there, but if not, there are free resources like Adobe Effects, it's the Photoshop Effects, which is I think free. There's Photopea, which is also free. So you can find
well, I have Photoshop on my computer.
Oh.
And I guess I just download it from my iPhone to my computer. I can't really do any changing on my iPhone itself.
Well, here's the thing too. I just wanted to interject. It may be the proper size already, so you might as well try to upload it. And you can go on your phone and go into Cafe. It is mobile friendly. So if you log into your account through there, you can choose a file and it'll let you choose from your phone if you wanted to just give it a shot and upload it at the size that it takes it. I think it probably will work for the most default settings phones. So
super. Thank you.
See how it does for you.
All right.
Now I really want to quickly, because this is an online only show. I want to be, and I didn't say this earlier and I should, make sure your photographs are good. I was looking at somebody's incredibly beautiful piece of artwork, but there was a reflection in it. And so we had a conversation about that, about how that might influence the judge. You also want to make sure that there's no exterior information on there. You don't need a frame in this. You just need the artwork. You typically might want to shoot it without glass if it's under glass. This was a resin piece we were talking about. So unfortunately, it's really hard to photograph. So, think about all those things and make sure you're looking at it as being the best presentation possible of your artwork, because they're not going to be able to be there and see all that beautiful subtlety that's going on. So if it's not going to photograph well, do a pivot and go to another piece maybe. So just really, this is a competition. And, we're all in it for, I hate to say recognition and winning, but I mean, we're doing this to kind of become better at our art and to kind of make each other better. And so, I want to encourage you to put your best product out there. Francie, did you have another question?
No, that's it. Thank you very much.
Oh, okay. Your hand is still up and I'm not used to this little hand thing.
Well, I don't know how to work this Zoom. So.
I taught on Zoom all last year. And so, the kids were not as interactive as y'all.
I'll join you. I'll join you with the clap emote.
Hand raising or anything. They just blurt out. So anyhow, okay. Do I have any other questions? Have you all tried to enter something on your portfolio? So you all feel pretty comfortable with it. and you all know how to find it, and you all have the code for this,
1,000 pennies.
1,000 pennies.
No,
Then
if it's,
I'm going to stop the recording then. Just a moment. Let me.
Okay, I need the code. It's Francine.
Okay, it's
Francine.
1,000 pennies.
The 1,000 is numerical, right?
Yes,
Yes.
and a capital P and then lowercase for the rest.